Hey everybody, this is Joe Bovino from Bovino Law Group, clearing a path to your American dream. And today I want to talk about whether you can apply for an E2 investor visa from the United States, okay, as opposed to applying from another country. Well, the short answer is no, you can't apply for the visa, the E2 visa, but you can apply to change your status to E2 investor. So you can, whatever your status is, let's say you're here in the United States on a tourist visa, okay? You can apply to a petition to change your status from tourist to E2 investor visa holder, okay? So in that sense, you can do it. It's just a distinction between having a status, a legal status in the United States and having a visa. You don't get a different visa when you're in the United States. Why is that? Because a visa is think of it as an entry ticket. It's your entry ticket in the United States. So the only way you can get that is if you leave and you go to the consulate or embassy and you get your new entry ticket or visa. If you're already here, you're here legally, you can change your status. Okay, so you can do that. And I have clients doing that. So, but it's a big decision because normally you want to get your visa. You want to apply for your E2 visa when you're outside of the country because if you're successful in your application, when you enter the United States with your E2 visa, you can oftentimes usually get up to 5 years, okay, before you have to renew. That's a long time. The length of time depends to some extent on where you're coming from, but usually it's 5 years. So that's great. If you're in the United States on a different visa and you change your status to E2, you're only going to get 2 years. Okay, you can renew every 2 years, but it's still 2 years. And so why would anybody do it? Why wouldn't you just go for the 5 years? Well, as you may know, these days, a lot of embassies are closed. Embassies, consulates, they're closed, or they're not operating at full capacity, or they're way behind in their schedule. So you can't get an appointment. So people are, they're applying for visas, whether it be an immigrant or a non-immigrant visa, and they're just waiting. They're stuck outside the country. So in some cases, clients of mine are saying, look, that's not going to work. I'm here in the United States on this visa anyway. I want to change my status. Okay, so if you decide to change your status from whatever it is, let's say tourist visa, to E2, a couple of things. First of all, keep in mind when you enter the country on another type of visa, you announce your intention as to do whatever that other visa allows you to do. So if you're coming as a tourist, you say, I intend to come as a tourist. I'm gonna enjoy the United States and I'm gonna leave. And you need to be truthful in that. So if later on you decide you want to change your status while you're in the United States, you have to have first of all, you don't want to do that too quickly. If you were to apply a month after you arrived here for a new status, to change your status, they're going to say, well, wait a minute, you just told us a month ago you were coming as a tourist. Now a month later, you're saying you want to change your status. Maybe you were lying. Maybe that's fraud. So you want to wait, at least 90 days, 3 months, 4 months out. You don't want to wait too long because you have to be in legal status, right? You can't stay too long. You have to be legal here when you apply to change your status. But you don't want to do it too soon. So at least 3 months, 4 months out, and then you can have a change of heart. You can just basically say, look, I changed my mind. And people do change their minds. You may be here I have clients who are here as a tourist and they were planning to do it, to apply for their E2 visa abroad, but the embassy doesn't open up. They have some other issues that relate to their personal situation and they just change their mind, and that's okay. But keep that in mind. All right, so the other thing you should know, the other reason why it's generally better to apply for the E2 visa outside the country than to change your status to E2 while you're in the United States is because your status here, let's assume you apply for the new status and you're successful, okay? You change your status, now you're an E2 investor and you're busy building your business, which is great because you'll be here and everything. Okay, so there's advantages there, but you can't leave the United States without losing your status. So if you're planning, and I have clients who are like this, they're changing their status, they're going to stay here. They love the United States. They want to work here. They want to build their business. They want to build a life. Their kids are going to school. They're going to stay put, but they know that they can't go back to their home country, whatever it is. Let's say it's Colombia. You can't go back to Colombia without losing your status, because the minute you leave the country to go back there, you start over. And you can't come into the United States unless you apply again, this time for an E2 visa, because remember, you're out of the country, and you start over. And it's not like the embassy officials or consulate officials are going to give you the benefit of the doubt because you had E2 status before. They're going to look at it fresh. I mean, I'm sure they give you a little preference, but really they don't have to. They're going to look at it fresh. They're going to look at your application and say, does this person deserve an E2 investor visa or not, even though they had the status? So if you're planning to travel a lot, like once you get your E2 status, you know, maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe you should leave the country and apply from there if you can. Another advantage of applying for a change of your status while you're in the United States to E2, okay, from whatever it is that they have premium processing. So for an additional $2,500 to the United States government, you can get an answer on your petition to change your status in 15 days, which is great, because one of the big problems with immigration is delay, right? I just told you that a lot of the embassies are closed. People can't get their appointments. They can't get things done. 15 days. I know it's a lot of money, $2,500, but if you can afford it, you get your answer in 15 days. That's a great thing. So that's one of the big advantages of going for it. All right, so that's basically it. So yes, you can change your status from whatever it is to E2, but if you want a visa, you got to leave the country and do it from abroad, an E2 visa. Remember to click the subscribe button below to catch more videos, and hit the bell, whatever it is, so you'll know when I have a new one. Feel free to also, I encourage you to schedule a consultation with me if you want to discuss your specific circumstances in relation to an E2 visa or some other visa that you're interested in. And or you can write me at joe@bovinolawgroup.com. Okay, that's enough for now. Cheers.